So it turns out Microsoft have a secret Xbox model that is looking to take the competition by surprise. Let's get into it. Lockhart's real, right? And people think it's dead. They still think it's dead. I think that you'll probably hear about Lockhart kind of soon. People don't think Lockhart's real. There are people out there that never thought it was real. There's a reason I've been so persistent on it. Well, it's a secret to everyone that doesn't watch this channel, and of course those who just think I randomly make things up. It's real good fun, and it's actually just one example of me speaking on Lockhart in a recent podcast. There are multiple, and of course, you know what? If you found that recent podcast clip interesting, you're really gonna love the next one. And really, the reason I'm making this video is because these trusted sources are now coming out and saying Lockhart is 100% real. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know how this video is gonna turn out. I know I'm gonna end up covering something it's gonna set me off somewhere, because this is something that I actually care about. I do care about knowing what I'm talking about when it comes to hardware. And today we're talking about hardware, Xbox Lockhart to be exact. And as you guys know, well, hey, this is the low-end version of the next generation Xbox. This thing was meant to be around $300 and of course appeal to the widest possible audience. While Xbox Anaconda, aka Project Scarlett, as we know it today, was meant to be the performance leader. Now, according to a Kotaku article covering this, developers have already been briefed on the Lockhart itself, said to feature an SSD drive. Developers also confirmed the fastest CPU they've ever worked with, meaning pretty much the fastest CPU in history so far. And yes, of course, I'm referring to console CPUs, at least until we see the PS5 and Anaconda CPU. And it is said to target 1440p 60, but you know, you might want to bump that down to 1080p 60 in a lot of cases. And now these sources, as usual, are now saying, hey, now we think it's real. Unfortunately, some of those same people are saying, well, hey, we've been talking about this forever. We basically leaked it. No, you didn't. You didn't leak nothing.
Well, my point is, Microsoft could potentially launch next generation Xboxes with the GPU or something slightly faster than the Xbox One X, just with the addition of Ryzen cores instead of Jaguar cores, and get away with that 100% scot-free and still deliver the next generation console features that I just mentioned. There would be 2 SKUs of the next generation Xbox come 2020-2021. The base model would have maybe a 6 or 7 teraflop GPU. The higher end model, which would probably clock in at about $100 more expensive, would have anywhere from 10 to 12 teraflops in its GPU capability. But importantly, both models would share those Ryzen APU cores, meaning neither of them are held back from doing what I believe the next generation are really going to focus on: animations, physics, AI.
So, how long ago was that, do you think? I mean, you heard Baby Dealer that had to be sped up and chopped up just to even talk at a normal rate. How long ago was that? I mean, was it 7, 8 months? I mean, a year? Oh, no, that was June 2018. So it really comes down to, not only was I getting information regarding Lockhart and telling everybody that this thing was real, many of which didn't believe me. Also, don't forget that rumors surfaced that Lockhart was canceled, and all of these same journalists and insiders were saying that, hey, it's canceled. Meanwhile, we at the RDX podcast, we on this channel, we knew it was real since well before E3. We knew for a fact, and that's based off of who we're talking to. But this whole thing was a theory of mine to begin with, well before the first actual Lockhart leak. And really, word for word, I feel like I described that thing almost immaculately. Now, of course, I would make a few changes with new information. Back then, I didn't know the calculations of Navi because Navi was not out. So, of course, I would lower the amount of T-flops that the box is putting out to around 4 or 5, and keep in mind that Microsoft may not market based off of teraflops anymore. Remember, the low-end one should perform phenomenally, especially with balanced hardware. I wouldn't worry about it. And keep in mind, the most important thing, its sole purpose is to be as cheap as possible while offering that next generation experience, which it will. It may even be marketed as a 1080p 60 FPS machine. Keep in mind that that's still the dominant TV, at least in the United States. I also would drop the price because of this. For some reason, I wasn't really thinking that, of course, a $400 low-end is kind of useless. $300 for that one, $500 $600 for the Scarlett, or what is really the Anaconda. And I've got to say this, please don't start it's going to be $700, $800, even $600 things. I mean, seriously. This happens every single time there's a new system. People forget to look at history or the way technology scales, look at TVs, phones, even other consoles. But when it comes down to it, where most of these journalists thought it was 100% canceled, and there's community members saying that it was a fake rumor and it was made up because they really don't know much about this kind of stuff, yours truly and the RDX podcast were telling you that no, it's 100% real. But again, there's a reason I was so adamant about this. But either way, just remember that all of these big names from Kotaku and all these other websites ran out and posted their little articles, and we had been saying this for months and months and months, and of course those guys didn't bat an eye. Now, I do have to give a shout out to Windows Central, because I think out of all of the websites that I saw, the guys over there, Jez Gordon, I mean, when I found out what I did find out, those guys were pretty much the closest to all of it, and they were also the most level-headed when reporting it. And unfortunately, people like, guys at Kotaku put stuff out today and are getting credit they don't deserve. That kind of stuff happens, man, and it's kind of like being a YouTuber. You don't get a lot of credit that you might deserve. But again, everything from this hardware to all kinds of updates, xCloud and more, we're always ahead of the curve. I gotta give a shout out to the RDX panel, fantastic group of friends, good buddies. I mean, honestly, in the chat, everyone who supports the show, you guys are the best. Couldn't ask for more. And really remember that when you're talking about stuff like this, it's ahead of the curve there. When you got guys behind the scenes that are feeding you stuff, or you just so happen to understand and you can see the roadmap clearly yourself. There's a lot of jealous and angry people out there that don't like the fact that an Xbox show, an Xbox channel, gets so many people checking it out. And that's really unfortunate, because if they just took the time to actually check out a show and understand what we're trying to say, hell, if they took the time to maybe watch one video even, which really the numbers kind of tell me that most people do, but unfortunately there's just that group of hard-headed guys that have made up their mind and they want to continue spreading misinformation about people like us. That's fine. At the end of the day, a lot more people, multiples more, understand who we are, check out the show, actually know what they're talking about, they're informed, and then you got the same old turds that don't. But hey, you know what? I am extremely tired, and maybe that's why this is a weird video for me. At the end of the day, I'm just kind of speaking my mind. Of course, this is one of the best hobbies in the universe. That's why I do it YouTube. You guys are absolutely fantastic. If you haven't already, consider hitting that like button, share this out with a buddy or two. Xbox Lockhart is back again. Low-end version of the console designed for the masses. Not a bad deal, $300 at all. In fact, it's going to be pretty ridiculous looking. It's going to look insane. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. If you want to support the channel, hit that join button. There's a Patreon link down below as well. That always helps. I'll link the source, as always, down below. Looks like Xbox Lockhart and, of course, Xbox Anaconda are indeed real. Low and high-end versions of the next generation Xbox. Keep it here for all of the latest information. I'm Dealer. I'm out.